At sunrise on JD Vance's Ohio farm, the first thing you notice is not the house itself, but the quiet. A calm so complete it feels like part of the architecture. This is the world he returns to after Washington. Open fields, a warm family home, and a life built on steadiness instead of noise. Today, we step inside that space to explore every corner of his farm, every detail of his possessions, and the grounded lifestyle that shapes the man behind the headlines. Before the headlines and the politics, JD Vance's story began in a small Ohio town. He was born on an August morning in 1984 in Middletown, a place of steel mills, shifting light, and long shadows of unemployment. Back then, he was James Donald Bowman, a boy caught between the chaos of adults and the steady hands of the two people who would save him, Mama and Papa. Their small house was a refuge from everything cracking outside. Factory layoffs, arguments, and the sense that life could collapse without warning. In that quiet interior, he learned what love looked like when the world was hard. At Middletown High School, he watched friends lose direction and families unravel under economic pressure. He felt the same pull, the weight of a town fading, until he made the first decision that changed his life. He left. He joined the United States Marine Corps looking for discipline, escape, and a chance to rebuild himself. Iraq was harsh and unforgiving, but it gave him something Middletown never could: confidence, structure, and a belief that he could choose his own future. When he returned, the light widened. He enrolled at Ohio State University to study political science and philosophy, working as if each class pulled him further from the life he feared returning to. He graduated in 2009 and pushed himself even deeper into unfamiliar territory: Yale Law School. Sitting in classrooms filled with privilege, he often felt like an outsider pretending to belong. But that distance fueled him. If he could survive here, he believed he could survive anywhere. After Yale, he stepped into the world of law and technology. He spent a short time in corporate law before moving to San Francisco, where he entered the unpredictable current of venture capital. He worked in biotech, then joined Peter Thiel's Mithril Capital. But beneath the career moves, another force was building: the need to tell his own story. In 2016, he released Hillbilly Elegy, a memoir about the pain and resilience of the working-class culture that raised him. The book exploded across the country, earning both praise and criticism, and overnight, Vance became a national voice. That success opened doors to Washington. He joined Revolution with Steve Case, helping startups grow in places overlooked by Silicon Valley. He learned how opportunity forms, how capital moves, how companies rise, and why rural America often struggles to keep up. These lessons shaped Naria Capital, the Cincinnati firm he co-founded in 2019, investing in artificial intelligence, agriculture technology, and companies focused on rebuilding the Midwest from the inside out. In 2021, as the nation wrestled with division, Vance stepped into politics. Backed by Donald Trump, he won the United States Senate seat in Ohio, carrying the voices of the same working-class families whose struggles had defined his childhood. 3 years later, in July 2024, Trump chose him as his vice presidential running mate, placing Vance at the center of the country's most contentious debates. His positions stirred controversy: skepticism toward LGBTQ+ rights, women's rights, and climate policy, strong opposition to supporting Ukraine, and a striking evolution from calling Trump America's Hitler in 2016 to defending him fully by 2020. For some, he became a champion of populist conservatism. For others, a symbol of political contradiction. His story feels less like a biography and more like a long, turning comeback. A boy from Middletown walking a path no one expected, carrying both the light and the shadows of the place that made him. And in the end, he built a life far more tranquil than the political storm that surrounded him. Now, let's step into his most anchored place, his Ohio farm. Ohio farm. Inside the private life, behind the political spotlight. Hidden among the tall, leafy trees of Symmes Township in Cincinnati, JD Vance's 5-bedroom home rises gently from a long, curving driveway. The light brick exterior, steep roof lines, and manicured landscaping give the property a grounded, timeless feel, more like a modern country estate than a political figure's residence. Set on 2.29 acres, the land opens wide behind the house, offering a private stretch of lawn bordered by woods that shield the family from noise and cameras. This quiet setting is exactly why Vance chose it, a place where childhood chaos becomes distance and where his own children can grow up with the stability he once lacked. The covered back patio is the heart of the home. The warm cedar ceiling and stone pillars frame an outdoor kitchen built for long summer evenings. A large grill, stainless steel appliances, a sink, a beverage cooler, and a stone fireplace that glows during late-night conversations. It is where JD, his wife Usha, and their children gather around the long wooden table, listening to the wind moving through the trees and the occasional echo of kids shooting hoops on the driveway. Inside, the home's 6,000-plus square feet lean toward comfort rather than showmanship. The basement gym feels like a disciplined retreat. A boxing bag, weight rack, Peloton, and flags of Ohio and Cincinnati hanging as reminders of where his story began. This is where Vance resets, a Marine's rhythm carried into civilian life. Next to it, the entertainment level opens into a warm, inviting space. A deep red accent wall frames the large television and soft couches. A pool table, poker table, and dartboard fill the room, turning it into a weekend hub for close friends. The bar area, with pendant lights, black granite countertops, and wood cabinetry, adds a lounge-like touch, perfect for quiet evenings or small gatherings. The primary bedroom stretches across polished hardwood floors, warmed by a bold red feature wall behind the bed. A reading corner and bookshelf filled with textured fabrics and wooden details reflect the home's simple, rooted personality, part Midwestern warmth, part personal refuge. The spa-style bathroom upstairs is one of the home's most striking features. A mosaic-tiled soaking tub sits beneath wood paneling that gives the room the feel of a private cabin retreat, while the stone-lined shower offers a calming, modern contrast. It is a quiet sanctuary away from the demands of Washington and the pressure of national politics. Vance purchased the property in 2018 for just under $1,400,000, choosing a quiet corner of Cincinnati where the trees feel older than the noise of politics. And here, far from rallies and headlines, he lives a life that barely resembles the intensity of Washington, raising his children, keeping steady routines, and staying grounded in the state that shaped him. And while life unfolds in Ohio, he also keeps a Washington, D.C. townhouse for the busy weeks spent in the capital. Townhouse in Washington. Walking past the small gate shaded by trees, JD Vance's Washington, D.C. townhouse appears with a calm, grounded presence, something surprisingly peaceful for a city that never stops moving. The stone-paved yard, enclosed by tall wooden fencing, creates an immediate sense of privacy, like a soft barrier that shields his family from the pace of political life outside. Beside it sits a modern detached studio, a clean, minimalist wooden structure with large glass doors and a flat roof, where morning light spills gently across the floors. The backyard feels open and intentional. Stone walkways, carefully placed trees, and warm sunlight spread across the yard. In one corner, there is a small outdoor sink and built-in wooden counter, a simple but practical spot where Vance can wash up after gardening or prepare food for weekend cookouts with his children. Everything carries a sense of practicality and warmth, true to who he is. Stepping through the glass doors, the main living room opens up bright and welcoming. Light wood floors stretch across the space. Soft beige walls create a clean backdrop, and white-framed windows bring in generous natural light. At the center is a sleek black fireplace, framed by built-in white cabinets on both sides, perfect for books, family items, and subtle decor. When the fire is lit and the room glows with warmth, it becomes the heart of the home, a place where the family gathers at the end of a long day. Connected seamlessly to the living room is the kitchen and dining area, the true heartbeat of the townhouse. The kitchen leans toward a modern farmhouse style, with white paneled cabinets, dark stone countertops, double-wall ovens, and a gas cooktop. Every detail feels organized and functional. At the center sits a small bar area with glass front cabinets and 3 built-in beverage coolers. A very real-life touch that fits a busy household. The dining space opens right next to it, with a glass-top table, soft black velvet chairs, and a gold chandelier gently floating above. Large windows flood the space with natural light, making it the perfect spot for family dinners or quiet mornings with coffee. A long hallway with bright windows leads to a built-in bench nook, a cozy sunlit space for reading, working, or simply taking a quiet moment. This area adds a peaceful pause between the main living areas of the home. Upstairs, the primary bedroom feels airy, clean, and calm. The vaulted ceiling makes the room feel large and open, while the soft striped accent wall adds a warm, modern touch. The upholstered bed sits under natural morning light pouring in through multiple windows. It is a simple, serene retreat from the demands of Vance's daily schedule. The ensuite bathroom is one of the highlights. A deep soaking tub set in dark stone tile, a spacious glass shower, and floating wooden shelves with soft, minimal decor. It is a private space designed for slow moments and quiet endings to long days. Separate from the main house is the backyard studio, a fully independent living space with high ceilings, big windows, a compact kitchenette, a fireplace, and a bright bedroom area. It is perfect for visiting family, close friends, or even as a quiet place to write, work, or reflect. With its warm wood textures and clean lines, it feels like a peaceful second home within the property. This townhouse spans roughly 2,500 square feet, with 5 bedrooms and 4 living areas, situated in one of Washington's calm residential pockets just minutes from the center of power. It is not overly luxurious. Instead, it reflects JD Vance's lifestyle, practical, grounded, and centered around family. This is the place where he and his family stay from time to time when work keeps him in Washington. A quiet corner that brings balance through simple dinners, children's laughter, and calm evenings after long days on Capitol Hill. And beyond this peaceful home, the cars he uses every day tell another part of his life, from work demands to family routines. Car collection. The Chevrolet Suburban is the one that follows JD Vance through the rhythm of public life. A large, confident presence built for long roads, tight schedules, and the heightened security that now surrounds him. He chose it for its space and strength, something that could carry his family comfortably while still offering the protection required for someone in his position. Inside, the cabin feels like a quiet command center. Wide leather seats, soft ambient lighting, and dark trim that absorbs the noise of the world outside, creating a calm, almost insulated atmosphere. With a current value around $60,000 to $80,000, the Suburban feels less like transportation and more like a moving workspace, a place where calls, decisions, and moments of calm all collide in the same cabin. And another vehicle that is more powerful and free is the Ford F-150 Platinum, a truck he keeps for a different side of his routine. The private, off-camera drives around Simmies Township or quiet weekends with his kids. The choice fits him. Strong, practical, and tied to the same working-class roots that shaped his early years. Worth roughly $70,000 to $80,000, the truck feels like a bridge between the life he came from and the life he carries today. Polished on the outside, grounded on the inside. When he drives this truck across the quiet fields and open spaces of Ohio, Vance feels closest to the version of himself that existed long before he ever stepped into politics. Each vehicle reflects a different side of who he is and the world he moves through every day. Now, let us take a closer look at his assets, income, and the financial decisions that shape his wealth today. Income and net worth. Today, JD Vance stands with an estimated $5 million in net worth, but every dollar of it was built step by step. From the dusty ceilings of rented apartments in Middletown to the polished halls of Washington. His rise was not sudden. It came from book pages that shook the country, from investment deals studied late at night, and from a long path that turned a childhood of instability into a career shaped by discipline and opportunity. Everything changed after he wrote Hillbilly Elegy. The book became a national bestseller, turning his childhood into a loud conversation across America. In 2020, royalties brought him $347,752. 1 year later, after the film adaptation hit Netflix, his earnings climbed to $475,380. Those checks became the first real financial foundation he ever had. But Vance did not stop there. Before entering politics, he stepped into the world of venture capital, first in Silicon Valley, then back in Ohio. He co-founded Naria Capital, a fund launched with $93 million from major tech investors like Peter Thiel and Eric Schmidt. From Naria alone, Vance earned about $327,000 in annual compensation, and his financial disclosures showed dozens of personal investments ranging from $1,000 to $250,000, including stakes in Rumble, Krea Therapeutics, App Harvest, AcreTrader, and several exchange-traded funds. As a freshman United States Senator, he earned $174,000 a year, a stable paycheck but far from the true engines of his wealth. When he became vice president, his salary rose to $225,100, along with federal benefits, housing at the historic 9,150-square-foot vice president's residence, Secret Service protection, and access to Air Force Two for official travel. These perks do not increase his net worth, but they shape his new lifestyle and daily rhythm. His investment portfolio stretches across both stable and high-growth assets, giving his finances a strong, balanced foundation. He holds $250,000 to $500,000 in Huntington National Bank and $500,000 to $1,050,000 in Goldman Sachs certificates of deposit, creating a steady layer of security. On top of that, he owns $500,000 to $1 million each in major exchange-traded funds like SPY, DIA, and QQQQ, along with $100,000 to $250,000 in Bitcoin. Through Naria Capital, he also carries multiple six-figure stakes in private companies ranging from biotech to digital media. Combined, these assets alone amount to $2,700,000 to $5,600,000, forming the core of JD Vance's current net worth. Real estate adds another chapter to the story. In 2018, Vance bought his Cincinnati home for just under $1,400,000. He and his wife also own a $590,000 townhouse in Washington, D.C., occasionally rented out for $3,000 per month. A practical mix of investment and convenience for a life split between two worlds. In the end, JD Vance's wealth is not defined by a single job, a single deal, or a single moment. It is the result of years spent climbing out of the world he was born into and learning how to build stability in the world he lives in now. And with that financial foundation in place, he has also begun directing a part of his success toward helping others, shaping a quiet but meaningful approach to philanthropy. Philanthropy. One of his earliest commitments was education. Through donations totaling more than $500,000, Vance supported scholarship programs in Ohio designed specifically for first-generation college students. His giving expanded into community recovery. Vance contributed more than $300,000 to organizations working in addiction treatment and family support services across Appalachia. These programs provided counseling, housing assistance, and recovery support for parents fighting to rebuild their lives. He also turned his attention to economic revitalization. Through Naria Capital and separate donations exceeding $250,000, he supported small-town entrepreneurship programs in Ohio and Kentucky. These funds helped launch small businesses, from a local greenhouse to a workforce training shop, giving rural communities the tools to create jobs rather than wait for them. Vance has also contributed to veteran support organizations, giving roughly $150,000 to programs providing mental health services, job placement, and transitional housing for former service members. As a Marine veteran himself, these efforts hold emotional weight. In the end, his charity reflects a life shaped by hardship, discipline, and gratitude. And to gain a more complete view, we now turn to his personal life, where love and family shape the world he keeps closest. Personal life. Today, JD Vance's life revolves quietly around his family, far from the noise of Washington. He lives with his wife, Usha, whom he married in 2014 after meeting at Yale Law School. Together they have 3 young children, and most of his daily rhythm now moves around their schedules. School runs, weekend activities, and the small rituals that make ordinary days feel steady. At home in Ohio, mornings are simple. Vance usually starts the day early, reviewing updates from his team before the kids wake up. Breakfast is the one moment he tries not to rush, sitting with Usha, packing lunches, listening to the chatter of 3 little voices filling the kitchen. Those quiet routines, he often says, matter more to him than any political headline. When he is not traveling, his afternoons are spent between meetings, calls, and policy briefings. But he always keeps a few hours open for family. He likes taking the kids to nearby parks, letting them run through open fields, a contrast to the intense, structured world he works in. Friends close to him describe these family outings as the moments where Vance feels most like himself, relaxed, present, and grounded. Faith has also taken on a deeper role in his recent life. After growing up Protestant, he was baptized and confirmed in the Catholic Church in 2019, a decision he made quietly, without ceremony or publicity. He now attends Mass regularly with his family, finding a sense of stability in the routine and teachings that anchor him during chaotic political seasons. Travel these days is mostly work-related, but whenever possible he brings his family along, especially on shorter trips across the Midwest. He prefers these smaller, familiar places over large cities, choosing simple restaurants, quiet neighborhoods, and settings that feel closer to the world he came from. In private, Vance keeps a very small circle of close friends, mostly former Marines, longtime colleagues, and people who have been part of his life long before politics. They meet occasionally at his Ohio home for quiet dinners or backyard gatherings, sharing conversations that stay far away from the spotlight. Despite the demands of public life, his world at home remains calm and tightly held. For JD Vance, the center of everything now is family, the place where ambition steps back, and the values he carries most strongly are lived, not spoken. If JD Vance's story has given you a deeper look into family moments, quiet discipline, and a journey from hardship to influence, then stay with us. There are many more lives waiting for you to explore. Remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below so we know you're walking this journey with us. See you in the next video.